Greetings to all. Welcome to Future Officers Academy. Today we are going to see the hot topic of the year, Day 7. To get more daily current affairs videos, follow a YouTube channel, also a Telegram channel. Now, today we'll move on to our topic. Today we are going to see the detailed analysis of elections in India. That is how the election is held and what we are going to see in this complete process of elections in India is like for whom the people we are voting, and then the elected representatives who select other members, also the methods of election for different representatives. So in these varieties we are going to have a detailed analysis about the elections in India. So generally, we know the elections in India says that every adult citizen of the nation has the opportunity to take part in the process of forming the government through the elections. The universal adult franchise principle, which gives all Indians who are 18 years of age or older the ability to vote regardless of caste, color, religion, sex, or place of birth, is the basis of this election. India uses two methods for processing election: first past post system and proportional representation. Before that, we have to know is for whom we are doing vote and who are the persons who get elected through voting. They are first Lok Sabha members, Rajya Sabha members, President, Vice President, MLA, and MLC. These are the persons who are get elected. Now we have two methods of election, that is direct election and the other is indirect. In this direct election where people vote and elect their representatives directly. In this direct election we can see who are all the presents is Lok Sabha members, Rajya Sabha members, MLA, ward member or councillors. In indirect election we see where the elected representatives votes to elect these persons. They are Rajya Sabha members, MLC, President, Vice President, and Panchayat President, Mayor, all those things extras. And we saw two methods of election, that is first part the post system. First past the post system, and the next is proportional representation system. In this first past vote system, we see who secures the highest number of votes, they win, such as Lok Sabha members, MLAs and local bodies. Under this system, elections are held in every constituency that the election commission designates, and the winner is the one who receives the most votes. This first past the post system voting is used to elect each Vidhan Sabha member as well as the Lok Sabha. Voters may only choose one candidate to support in each constituency, and the winner is the one who receives the most vote. The next one is proportional representation. Under this, the number of votes is divided among the legislatures proportionately. It functions well in multi-party systems such as the Indian one, in which every party is taken into account independently of its size or total number of votes. That is, simply every voter is required to rank the candidates, such as elections like president, vice president, Rajya Sabha members, and MLCs. So we have to know about the elections of presidents, vice presidents, elections of Lok Sabha member and Rajya Sabha member. How the election of president is held. For this, we have to know about what are the provisions are there. The first provisions is we have it in Constitution. So we have to know about the constitutional provinces and who elects, also the qualification and the method of election. Not only for president you have to know about this, for all the elections you have to know these things basically for the election. Okay. Now for president election we have constitutional province. Article 54. Article 54 says about the election of president, and Article 55 says about manner of election of president. 56 says about term of office of president. 57 says about eligibility for re-election. 58 says about qualification for election of president. Now what are the procedures seen for president election? The stage before voting is the nomination process, in which the candidate wishing to run for office submit is a signed list of 50 proposals and 50 secondaries along with the nomination. Any member of the electoral college from both the state and federal levels may propose and second a measure. The requirement of having 50 proposals and seconders was put into the place when the Election Commission saw in 1974 that a number of candidates, many of whom had little hope of winning, would submit their nominations to challenge the polls. A voter is only permitted to second or propose the nomination of one candidate at a time. And what is the value of each vote and how it is calculated in president election is every MP or MLA vote is not tailed as a single vote. Every Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha members vote have a set value of 700. In the meantime, each value vote values varies from state to state according to formula that takes into account the population of each state in relation to the total number of members in legislative council. The population of the state is divided by total number of MLAs in its legislative assembly to estimate the value of each MLA vote. The resulting quotient is then divided by 1000. Now in the same way we have to see about the provisions of vice president. The second highest constitutional office in India is the vice president. He or she can stay in office of their term of 5 years. The president of India must receive the vice president resignation in order for him to leave his position. The day of resignation is accepted marks its effective date. A resolution approved by the House of the People and approved by the Council of States with the support of a majority of its members at the time may remove the vice president from office. The vice president does not occupy any other position of profit other than that of ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, the Council of States. What are the eligibilities there for vice president? He must be a citizen of India, should have completed citizen of India, should have completed 35 years of age, also should be qualified for election as a member of Rajya Sabha, should not hold any office of profit under the union government or any other state government or by any local authority or public authority. Now we have to know about how the Lok Sabha members are got elected. System of election of Lok Sabha are the universal adult franchise that comes under Article 326. It says about universal adult franchise. Voting in Lok Sabha election is open to all citizens who have reached the legal voting age of 18. Has been specified in the 61st Amendment Act. It is imperative that his name appears on his district list of registered voters reservation made for seats of scheduled tribes and scheduled castes. Scheduled tribes and scheduled castes have designated constituencies. We call these reserved constituencies. In many reserved constituency, only candidates who are a member of SC or ST as applicable are entitled to compete with office. Based on population percentage, the Lok Sabha reserves space for scheduled tribes and scheduled castes. Now, what is a single member territorial constituency in this Lok Sabha? The whole nation divided into a number of territorial constituencies equal to number of Lok Sabha members to be elected. One MP is chosen from each constituency. What are the duration of Lok Sabha? The Lok Sabha is not a body that meets continuously. It will automatically dissolve after the customary term of 5 years, which begins on the day its first meeting following the general election. The president may dissolve the Lok Sabha at any moment, even before the 5 years have passed, and there is no legal course for this. Parliament may prolong the Lok Sabha term for up to 1 year at a time under a state of national emergency. This extension, however, is only valid for maximum of 6 months from the emergency closure. Next, we have to see about the election of Rajya Sabha members. What is the process of election of Rajya Sabha members? The representative of the states and the union territories in the Rajya Sabha are elected by the method of indirect election. The representative of each state and 2 union territories are elected by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly of the state and by the members of the Electoral College for the union territory, as the case may be. The system of proportional representation using single transferable vote. How the elections held? According to the Schedule 4, the Constitution, each state allotted number of Rajya Sabha seats is determined. Every 2 years, elections are held for the third of these seats. The Legislative Assembly consists of 2 parties. There are 40 seats in Party A and 100 seats in Party A. For the 3 Rajya Sabha seats, each party may field 3 candidates. A candidate need to receive a necessary amount of votes in order to win Rajya Sabha seat. The formula below is used to find the number or the quotient. Total votes cast divided by number of Rajya Sabha seats plus 1 equal the quotient. To win the above scenario, a candidate need 140 per 4 plus 1 or 36 votes. And now we'll see about the Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council. In the Legislative Assembly, the elections are held similar to the Lok Sabha at the federal level. The legislative assembly, that is Vidhan Sabha, is the lower house of the state legislature. With members chosen directly by the electorate, it represents the will of people of the state. Now, what is the composition of this assembly? According to Article 170, Class 1, the legislative assembly of each state must be composed of no fewer than 60 members, 60 or more than 60 members, who are selected by direct election from statewide constituency. Arunachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Goa are the exceptions, with the minimum seat of 30, 40 and 46 respectively. For Mizoram, Nagaland and Sikkim also. What are the qualifications of these houses? In accordance with Article 173, an Indian citizen who satisfies the age requirements of not less than 25 years of the Legislative Assembly and not less than 30 years of for Legislative Council. What are the durations of this assembly? Every state legislative assembly will exist for 5 years following the dates of its inaugural sitting unless it is dissolved earlier. The term of the assembly may be extended by parliament by legislation, while proclamation of emergency is an effort, but only for a maximum of 1 year at the time and never more than 6 months after the proclamation. Now we can see about the elections held in Legislative Council. A state legislative council may not have fewer than 40 members or more than 1/3 of the state assembly. In legislative assembly, 60 members, here 40 members. It was stated in the Article 171 of the Constitution. The Legislative Council is a counting chamber, meaning that it is a permanent body that cannot be dissolved, just as the Rajya Sabha. 1/3 of the Legislative Council members retire every 2 years during the 6-year term of office. Now we'll see the local government elections. How the local government elections have been held. The election for municipal corporations, municipalities, district, panchayat and gram panchayat and other local organizations follow different procedure than that of parliamentary and assembly elections. It should be mentioned that State Election Commission have the authority to hold election for corporation, municipalities, Zilla Parishads, district panchayat, panchayat samitis, gram panchayat and other local bodies. The model code of conduct forbids ministers and other authorities from making any ad hoc appointments in the government that could sway voters in favor of the ruling party. In addition to forbidding them from announcing any financial grants, new schemes or develop projects prior to the elections. In this way, the local government elections have been held. That's all about the elections of India. In this, with that, you have to know about election commission, which behaves in state level, also in central level. So, election commission. In India, the Election Commission of India is an independent constitutional body. It is an independent constitutional body. It was found on January 25 of 1950. It is considered as National Voters Day. The commission secretariat is located in Delhi. These are the basic things about election commission. Also, elections of the state legislative assemblies, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and Indian presidential and vice presidential posts are managed by the body. Elections to state municipalities and panchayats are unrelated to it. The Indian Constitution makes provision for a district state election for this purpose. What are the constitutional province of this election commission? For constitutional province, we have from Article 324 to 329. In 324, it says about an election commission will have oversight, guidance, and control over the elections. In Article 325, it says about no one shall be excluded from or assent that they are exempt from a special electoral roll on the basis of a person's gender, race, religion, or caste. In Article 326, it says about adult suffrage will be used for elections to the legislative assemblies of the state and House of People. In Article 327, it says about parliamentary authority to enact laws pertaining to legislative elections. In Article 328, it says about the ability of a state legislature to establish rules pertaining to legislative elections. In Article 329, it says about prohibition of judicial meddling in election related issues. What are the structure of this Election Commission of India? The Election Commissioner Amendment Act 1989 allowed the Commission to expand from having just one election commissioner to a multi-member body. The Chief Election Commissioner and any additional election commissioners, if any, that President may from time to time appointment will make by the Election Commission. It's currently made up of 2 election commissioners and the Chief Election Commissioner. The Chief Electoral Officer assists the electoral commissions at the state level. Now, what are the appointments and tenure of this commission? In accordance with Chief Election Commissioner Officer and the other Election Commissioner Officer Appointment Conditions of Service and Terms of Office Act 2023 says the President appoints the Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners. Their term is set of 6 years or until they are 65 age of years, which comes first. The Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners will have the same pay and working conditions of Cabinet Secretary. It was same as Supreme Court Judge's remuneration under Article 191 Act. What are the removal procedures of this Election Commission? They are free to leave at any moment or they can be fired before their term is up. The Election Commission's designation, terms of office and conditions of service Act 2023 says many things about the Election Commission's business and their transactions. It outlines the process of selecting, paying and dismissing election commissioners and the Chief Election Commissioner. Even is the event that the committee has vacancy, the recommendations made by the selection committee will remain the effect. An election commission will have higher authority in central wise. Under the Chief Election Commissioner, the state will have State Election Commission. These are about the election commissions of India. That's all from today's topics. To get this PDF download, you can get in from our Telegram channel. The Telegram channel link will be provided in our description. Also, to get more videos, daily current affairs videos and hot topic of the year, you can follow our channel. Thank you.